Hey guys, Addicted to Gear live show 166 is starting. So I hope you have your coffee. I hope you have your guitar. I hope you have whatever it is that you need this beautiful Sunday morning to get the show on the road. So strap in, crank it up, and get ready for the sonic journey. Today we're going to be talking about gear. And I think you guys know the drill by now. If you guys have been participating in this live show on a regular basis, you know what we're all about. We're all about gear, music, guitars, addictions, you know, the whole 9 yards. So today we have a nice show ready for you guys, and I'm glad to see there's quite a few of you already here. We have early birds this morning. Very good. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are in tip-top shape, better than I am. I was up till like 3 o'clock last night, and I'm a little bit wrecked. I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit groggy, but I'm going to hopefully through this show and chatting with you guys and getting the adrenaline going, we're going to, get back to our normal selves. I'm playing this guitar today. I pulled out the SG. This is one of the latest acquisitions in terms of guitars, and I'm probably going to take this guitar with me tonight for rehearsal for the first time. I haven't actually used it during rehearsal. It's still going out of tune a little bit in terms of when I'm bending and stuff, you know, the strings. But it sounds good. I like it. So welcome everybody. I hope you guys are all doing good. Let's, I should speak proper English. Doing well, not doing good. I don't want anybody to complain. Today's show 166. So let's say good morning to the guys that woke up nice and early to be here today. And go through a couple of little, questions if you already have them. If not, you can start posting your questions, giving me your updates. I want to know which who of you has been good this week and actually went out and bought something. Because I know a lot of you guys tend to go and buy some gear and are looking at things, but lately it's been kind of quiet, I gotta say. So let's say good morning to the guys that are here already. So Mazzetti is here. And he says, good morning, Tony. He says, going to a guitar show. Very nice. In Columbus, Ohio. And we'll miss the show. Stoked to see some cool stuff. Bummed to miss the live show. Well, the good news is that the show's going to be recorded. And it's going to be, you're going to have all the chats that are going to be popping up as we go through the chit chat today. So you won't really be missing. You could watch later on if you wish. It's always nice to have you here live, so that you can ask your questions in person. But, a guitar show is pretty important. Let me know if you're still online. Let me know which guitar show you're actually going to catch today. It would be interesting to see if anybody else from the group is going to be there. I'm going to actually start from the bottom today and work my way backwards, all right? So Alan says he's way overdue to buy some new gear. Aren't we all, Alan? I think I'm overdue too, but I've been kind of very selective in terms of what kind of gear I've been looking at lately. And I'm lucky enough to say I got, quite a bit of stuff here to keep me going and keep me interesting. But it is nice to actually, have your eye on something. The only thing that's actually caught my attention lately, believe it or not, which is not anything major by any stretch of the imagination, is the Peterson strobe, the little mini strobe tuner. I don't know if you've seen those lately, guys, but I've been using a TC Electronic tuner, which has been working well. It's very good, solid. It's very reliable. But I have to say I like the Peterson strobe tuners. They're pretty cool. I have the app on my phone that I use most of the time, but it's nice to have that. Maybe eventually I'll pick one up. So good morning to Presley. Good morning to Cushman, Eddie, Quicksilver. Quicksilver says, I sold my AUFX pedal recently. found myself using and liking the old Joyo American sound and AC tone way more than the Ruby and Dream 65. Really? That's cool. Isn't it nice to have like great to be able to get the tones that you're after in pedals that are not extremely expensive? A lot of those Joyo pedals are great. I still have my analog delay pedal from Joyo and a few others. There's a lot of great stuff out there to be had for not too much money if you're selective. Profile Production says, I'm thinking about a Boss delay, but $500. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's tempting, but yeah, man, that's expensive for a pedal. I don't know if I'd be willing to spend that kind of dough on one pedal. You know, you're think about it. I mean, they're awesome sounding delays, but you can actually probably get yourself a multi effect unit for like a little bit more, and you'd be covering a lot of those bases that you're already getting, you know, for just a delay pedal. So I don't know. Hey, and the blues is here. Hey Shane, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Thanks for the heads up the other day. So Shane brought up a cool thing in my feed, and I wasn't even aware. The last video that I did, I had put a thumbnail picture, which was doing this kind of thing, right? And apparently, I got a twinsy out there somewhere. Somebody is apparently Shane tells me that my thumbnail popped up and his thumbnail popped up, and they were almost identical in terms of the pose. So interesting to see that. I guess great minds think alike. I don't know. I don't know who was actually first in, you know, putting out the pose. I would have to check the timestamps and everything. But you know, there's so much stuff on YouTube today that it's no wonder there's going to be some duplication here and there. Everybody's sort of talking about the same thing and doing more or less the same thing. It's getting very saturated. Steve says, good morning, everyone. I've been really good. I got a roasted Pro 2 Telecaster neck, a Rev G4 pedal. What else? A pedal train pedal board, a GHX Supreme 1972 Japan pedal, and pre-ordered a Rev chat breaker. So, I mean, did you hit the lottery, Steve? What's going on? Did you get an inheritance or what's going on? I'm happy for you, brother. Great news. That's a nice selection of gear, dude. I think you're going to be happy for a long time with all of that stuff. I wanted to talk about the Rev chat breaker. Have you guys seen this pedal yet? It's a good thing that Steve brought it up. The chat breaker is an interesting thing that came out from the guys over at Rev, proud Canadian company. Great group of boys there, and they're always up to no good. So they came out with a pedal. It's called the Chat Breaker, which is kind of loosely based on a blues breaker circuit, I think. And it was apparently designed using Chat GPT. So I don't know how exactly they went about doing this, guys. I mean, I told you AI is going to be taking over the world, and I'm not kidding. But these guys are using it for the good. They're actually using it to design pedals. So I don't know if they pumped in some kind of information in Chat GPT, and then the algorithm spit out something that they'd be able to use to build these pedals. But it's interesting to see that people are using artificial intelligence now to build pedals even. So hang on to your hats, guys. It's going to be crazy. Hey Shane, no worries, man. No, I didn't. Dude, I don't get upset over things like that. There's not a lot that upsets me these days. It's all good. I'm glad you have my back. Got the heads. I don't always see these things, so I didn't see it come across my post, and it's pretty cool that you caught it, and I appreciate it, man. It's all good. Hope all is well there in Australia, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're pumping out some cool videos. If you guys don't already know, Sean has a really nice channel in the blues. I've been watching his channel for years, and cool guitar reviews, great stuff, and he keeps pumping them out, which is fantastic. So fantastic to see you here. Cool Tunes Made Easy says, Tony, that new X65 drive pedal does not ship to Canada. Not sure how you purchased it. So Cool Tunes, the pedal is available on certain websites. I think I posted a link to one of them. I don't know what's the situation in Canada, and whether or not it's because the stock is low, but soon everybody's gonna have that pedal, and you shouldn't have any issues getting it. I know a lot of people out there have commented about it and said, hey, how do I get it and where is it and all that stuff. It's not on Amazon yet. It will be eventually. Just hang on, and you will be able to get it. Sometimes when they're getting new inventory, it's a little slow. And it's a little bit frustrating not to be able to get stuff, but it's coming. It's coming. I guarantee you. Dan wants to know what guitar I'm using today. So Dan, this is my one of the latest acquisitions in terms of guitars. This is an SG, Gibson SG. Love this guitar. Got it recently. Have not used it live yet. So I'm actually going to be playing this guitar today. I'm going to bring it with me at rehearsal. Has a nice sound to it, man. I'm playing with way too much delay. It's got more than enough thump to be able to, do anything that you really need. It's all good. I think I should have a cleaner tone there someplace. If you want to hear it clean. I know some of you guys complain that I always play with too much drive. I'm still debating whether or not, these pickups are going to stay or go. I know a lot of you guys razz me about the fact that I always change pickups. I like the bite and the brightness on the treble pickup. The bass pickup is not bad on its own. It's definitely darker. If you can hear the difference between the... So definitely more, the neck pickup's definitely more woolly sounding, but when you're playing loud, it kind of works. So I'm really enjoying it. It's a really nice guitar, and it definitely feels different. It's extremely light, so it's gonna be good on the back. As usual, guys, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you have to subscribe to be able to chat. Otherwise, the system won't let you chat. So I just want to make sure you guys know that, and so that you're not frustrated there trying to chat and not being able to. And what else did I want to say? Oh yeah, last week I did send out some stickers. So if you guys, we had a little game contest kind of thing where I sent out some of these Addicted to Gear stickers to some of you guys as a little thank you. These are Addicted to Gear stickers that you can put pretty much anywhere on the case or whatever. So I sent out some of them already. Fat Philosopher, you're gonna get one too. I just got yours a little bit late, so I will be sending yours out as well. Since you're all the way in Japan, it might take a little longer for you to get it, but it's gonna be definitely coming to you. Today we're not going to have a contest, but anybody that wants to support the channel and perhaps do a super chat or a sticker or whatever, I'll send out a sticker to you guys. So if you do a super chat today, you automatically get a sticker as a thank you from me. All right. Definitely, I always appreciate your support. You can always support the channel just by giving us thumbs up, giving us likes. Right now we have 30 people in the house. We have 18 likes or thumbs up, so definitely I would appreciate a couple more thumbs up. If you guys could tickle the little like button, that would be pretty cool. And yeah, we'll be doing that immediately. Fat Philosopher says, wearing my ATG shirt right now. Well, that's really cool. Thank you for supporting. I wish you guys could see the shirt. I'm sure you look very handsome, Fat Philosopher. I hope everything's going well. Steven says, I love the sound of my Les Paul original pickups. They're great sounding pickups overall. Great versatile guitar. And it's going to be fun to play. I love the neck on this thing. It's just it's not bulky at all. It's really like a slim neck, so it's easy to play. You can definitely play quick. Just sounds really good, plays really nice, and we'll see how it holds up today. Quicksilver's not wearing any shirt. He's going commando, apparently. Dan says, did Gibson send you an unstamped truss rod cover plate? Nope. That was the one that was originally on it. Yeah. That's the one I got with the guitar. And Presley says, my 71 SG has the best sounding pickups I own. Do you know what they are, Presley? Are they any specific type? Like, are they 57 classics? Or obviously they can't. They probably are not 57 classics, but maybe they're T-tops, or I'm not sure what they all shipped with way back then. Fat Philosopher is depressed because he lost an auction. Lefty made in Mexico Telecaster. That sucks, man. I know how it feels when you're anxious to get something and you're like looking forward and almost can visualize it arriving at your house and then it doesn't go through. Yeah, man, I know what you mean. I've been there. Don't worry. Like I always say, it always happens for a reason. If you don't get it, it means there's something better on the way. So don't sweat it. Steven says, hopefully I'll have your ATG inlay done this week. Tony, it will be a simple circular route for you to do in the body of whatever you put it in. Hey, cool. I appreciate that, Steven. Honestly, I do, man. I was very impressed with the work that you did and the images that you sent. And yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And don't stress over it, man. Take your time. There's absolutely no rush whenever, man. It's all good. Presley says those pickups he enjoys in the SG are T-tops. Yeah, a lot of people like those pickups. I've tried those in other guitars. They sound really nice. Really nice. So it's been an interesting week, you guys. I don't know if you guys have been following what's been going on. On a side note, there's been a lot of talk about this submersible Titan that was doing tours of the Titanic wreck. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. It's been all over the news. It's not gear or guitar related, but I had to talk about it because it was a pretty interesting story, man. I feel terrible about what happened to the people on board. Apparently, they all went missing, and apparently the craft imploded. So that means there's nothing left, really. It's going to be just debris. So they're probably gone, unfortunately. But it's I always say the ocean is a dangerous place, man, and it's probably the only place more dangerous will probably be outer space, and when you're dealing with that kind of pressure on a submersible at that kind of depth, there's so many things that could go wrong. And apparently, of course, now all the news is coming out that the actual craft wasn't really the safest thing. There's probably going to be a ton of lawsuits happening. Absolutely. I have a feeling because of the safety, the lack of safety features and functions. And it's unfortunate that we had to lose lives, because of this. But it's really crazy. And what's even stranger, in my opinion, I was following this thing from the beginning. And it's funny because they didn't, apparently the craft, from what we know now, the craft pretty much imploded immediately, as soon as they lost communication, which was probably about an hour in. But, all the news outlets were keeping us going and keeping us in suspense. And even days later, they're talking about, that they were hearing knocking on the craft, on the hull, and they were trying to locate them. And this was not true, man. They were gone long before that. And so I don't know if they were just drawing it out to kind of, increase clicks and just make more money, keep people's eyes focused on this stuff a little bit longer. But it's pretty sad. There's no way you would have never got me into this thing, honestly. They were bolted into this thing, and it was maybe 20 feet, and there was 5 or 6 people on board. Absolutely not, man. I would never agree to be bolted into anything that I wouldn't be able to get out. I'm not necessarily a claustrophobic person, but being bolted into something like that with a bunch of other people would definitely make me claustrophobic. So I would not sign up for something like that. Um, and apparently they charged a fortune, $250,000 for a trip down there. I don't know, man. It was funny because James Cameron, the big wig director, was commenting on it. He's got his own craft that he built himself, and it's built quite differently. And he was talking about how carbon fiber is not the right material to be using in a craft like that, and how dangerous it is. And he warned other people that were using designs based sort of on the same design these guys were using, how it was going to be, it wasn't going to end well for them if they were going to use that type of craft. And unfortunately, we saw this happen. So, yeah, it's really, really sad, guys. Not something you want to hear, but I guess comes with the risks of doing that kind of thing. If you're chasing the high, the thrill, there's always the flip side of it, right? Steven says you'd agree to be bolted into a storage locker full of gear. That's different. That's completely different. And yes, I would agree to that. I would feel very comfortable. Very comfortable doing that. Oh man. Yeah, Presley, sure the families suffer, but apparently that's another thing I was reading, and I don't know if this is absolutely true. I don't want to necessarily spew false information, but apparently one of the people that was on board the ship, one of their son was actually at a concert, I heard. He was at a concert during this whole thing. He was spotted there. And so, kind of odd that, if a member of your family is in danger like this and you don't know what the outcome is, that you're going to a concert. Kind of weird, but who am I to judge? Anyway, just a sad story overall. I just wanted to talk about it just because it's been out there. Gene says it was a distraction from the ugly PRS Telecaster. So I think PRS released a new guitar. I wasn't actually following that, but I have heard some information. So let me see if I can find something here on this new guitar. So I don't know if you're talking about the NF53, which is one of sort of a Telecaster design that they came up with, which is an interesting take. Everybody has their own take of the Fender Stratocaster style body, the Telecaster style body. They've all kind of they've all taken a stab at it to make it better and to make it more interesting. So I don't know if this is the one you're talking about, but here I'll show you guys. I'll share my screen with you guys so that we can all talk about it here and make sure we're talking about the same thing. So if this is the one you're referring to, so this is the PRS NF53. I don't know anything about this guitar yet, guys. I don't know how much it's retailing for. I don't know what the price point is. So from what we can see here, it's got a, I like the grain-filled paint job on the guitar. I like that kind of stuff. It's cool. It's different. Well, not different. I mean, it's been done before, but it's cool. I like it. Hold on again. Let me see. How do I just want to see if I can do something here. Yeah. So I'm just trying to see if I could have my ugly mug on the screen while I'm talking about this stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, there we go. That's better. So you can see me. So yeah, so this guitar, apparently Eddie says it's $3,000. Yeah, that's expensive, man. For a Telecaster, I mean, I don't know how much of a change they're going to be making to the original Telecaster design. I mean, I can see that the pickups already are not Telecaster style pickups. They're kind of like blade humbuckers. So, okay, you might have a couple of more tones. The bridge on it seems to be like a mini bridge. But in terms of, let's see here. So, okay, maple neck, bird inlays. Uh, the switch is put in at an angle. If you don't like the switch way back there because it's hard to reach, that might be an issue. Some people like to have the switch further up for convenience. But it is what it is. Let me see the headstock. Well, I like the body carves. Body carves are always appreciated for me. Just makes the guitar really feel more comfortable. So I like that. Headstock, typical headstock. Tuners look to have those plastic tuners knobs. I don't like the plastic tuner knobs, guys, overall, unless it's a Gibson style thing. If it's a tulip like this, I like them a lot. But beyond that, I'm not a big fan of plastic. Okay, well, it is what it is. Again, I haven't tried one. I shouldn't talk about it yet because I don't know, I haven't seen anything on it. But it looks interesting, but not for 3,000 bucks. So, for 3,000 bucks, I can probably buy at least three, probably more very nice Telecasters that I can get and set up the way I like. So it's got to be something really, really special. I think it just has the PRS premium price on it, unfortunately. So unless PRS comes out with a SE version that's a little bit more affordable, and they might do that. And I think if they actually come out with an SE version of their Telecaster, it's actually going to be very successful because, I mean, a Telecaster is a very simple guitar. So, there's no fancy carve on these things like the Coreline PRS models that are uber expensive. It's a really, really straightforward body. So it would be something that would translate well to an SE version. And if they can bring it down to about $800, I don't even know if that's possible anymore. I'm sure it will be much more successful in that format than it is in the $3,000 Coreline format. Quicksilver says not as much. As much as other gush over it. The Silver Sky is right up there in grift. And Fat says if it didn't have the bloated price tag, it wouldn't be a PRS. They know how to mile their fanboys. It's true. You definitely know that you're gonna have to pay premium price. It's kind of like if you buy an Apple device, you're gonna get fleeced over it. They're gonna rape you. But I guess that brings a little bit more appeal because it's sort of unobtainable. It's just out of reach for a lot of people. So people when they see them, they're like, "Oh, you got a PRS? You must be a doctor or a dentist or something." I jest. I know there's a lot of PRS fans out there. I like PRS guitars too, but unfortunately, I'm not going to buy a PRS guitar every day. Can't afford it. Dan of New Jersey says the thing is that PRS started as an innovative company. Now they're falling into that trap of copying versus innovating, safe and profitable, but not groundbreaking. After a certain amount of time, Dan, unfortunately, people exhaust a lot of the avenues. It's difficult to consistently innovate in the guitar world because a lot of people push back on innovation. Unfortunately, we like the standard stuff, we like the vintage stuff. I mean, part of the reason why I bought this, this is not a new guitar. It's based on an old design, but it's still selling perfectly well today. Gibson knows this because they've been cranking them out. And so a lot of us would prefer to go backwards in time as guitarists instead of forward in time and try something new, even though there's some cool innovative stuff out there. Case in point, I did a really nice review on a carbon fiber acoustic guitar. And a lot of pushback on stuff like that. Believe it or not. I mean, excuse me. I'm open to all kinds of materials being used in guitars, and improving the manufacturing process, because you don't have to necessarily change the design of a guitar to make it better, but you can make different parts better. Like Gibson, is cranking out these guitars the same way they've been doing for many, many years. But we all know that the Achilles heel of these guitars is the neck joint. It's so thin, it's very fragile. These things, break off a lot if you're not careful with them. But, they've never really taken an honest crack at resolving that. Because I think there would be pushback. A lot of people would say, well, you're changing the original design. And I want the original. I don't want the new version of that. Anyway, you go down the rabbit hole when you talk about stuff like that, because everybody has like different opinions. Speaking of opinions, guys, there is a poll out today. So if you guys haven't already clicked on the poll, you can still have time to do it. We'll look at the poll results just before the end of the show. And basically, the question of the day is, in your opinion, what is the hardest instrument to learn to play? Now, I only had place to put 5 choices. So I put 5 very typical, obvious choices. There's a lot more instruments that are more difficult to play than what I have listed there. So a lot of you have commented in the comments, which is fine. But the choices are guitar, obviously, piano, saxophone, drums, and bass. So if we limit it to those 5, which one do you think is the most difficult to play? And I'd be interested in hearing your opinion on that. Presley says, my new stepdad just had his ALS brain implant turned on yesterday and it stopped his shaking. It's a miracle. I need one program to make my guitar skills better. So happy for him. Well, first of all, that's fantastic. It's amazing. It's mind-boggling what they can do today. And thank God for doctors and the professionals out there just researching this stuff. That's fantastic. Number one, I'm happy to hear that it's turning out well. That's the next step, guys. We're gonna be, this technology is gonna eventually end up in our bodies. Elon is already working on that kind of stuff, and it's the future, and that's gonna happen. In certain cases like this, it's going to be helpful, and it's going to make people's quality of life much, much better. But who knows where it's going to end, right? That's the big dilemma. We don't know how far it's going to go, and how much of how much we're going to become cyborgs eventually. And but it's interesting and very scary at the same time. I embrace technology and change, but at the same time, it's scary because you don't know how it's going to be used and what's going to happen down the road. But Mark says, I didn't think the new T-Style PRS was cool at first, but it's growing on me, way overpriced. I don't have anything negative to say about the look of it. I don't mind the look of it. I mean, it's a Telecaster. Telecasters are not the sexiest things, guys. It took me a long time to warm up to the idea of owning a Telecaster, because it's basically a slab of wood, like very, rudimentary cutout kind of thing. No bells and whistles if you're going with the original design. So so it took me a while to warm up to them, but I love Telecasters now. You gotta give up some comfort with a Telecaster if you're looking for something that, if you're used to a guitar that has body carves and stuff like that, and just feels more at one with your actual body. There's certain guitars that work better. Telecaster is more like angular. It's like really basic and rudimentary. But I don't have anything negative to say about the look of the guitar. I just don't like the price point. I'm not necessarily stuck into the idea that a guitar has to look, has to be an A, B, or V, C version. I'm open to different ideas of different types of guitars and different materials, and it's just one of those things where I'm not necessarily stuck in the past where it has to be this guitar. I like to own these guitars, but I also like some new stuff as well. So I'm open to that kind of stuff. Paul says, Tony, China have a 7.5% inflation rate and have deflation. Many prices on AliExpress have dropped by 30% without a sale. Shipping that took 12 weeks is taking about 10 days. Obviously not busy. Well, first of all, it's interesting to know that we can take advantage of some of these discounts because let's face it, guys, prices have been going up. Inflation is not our friend. If anybody's been buying groceries lately, I try to avoid doing groceries because it's so like, it's really like depressing. You know, I walked into the store the other day. I think I bought 5 things or 4 things. It cost me $60, and it wasn't anything like crazy. It was like, you know, basics like butter and bread and eggs, and you know, cost me like $60. I don't know what's going on with the prices. So any place that we can get a deal, I appreciate that, and I take that. I take note of that. And speaking of deals, who's been following the Sweetwater event? Have you guys? Do you guys even know about this? Because Sweetwater is having this this sale, this Gear Fest, I think they call it. And there are some people that are taking advantage of this. I believe there's a few fellow YouTubers that are going to be attending that one too. And so I'd like to take a look at that and see what's going on, if there's anything interesting. Because a lot of people might not even know this is happening. So we'll see. Let's take a look at what's going on here at Gear Fest. If I can find the link to it. Do you guys? Yeah, here we go. Gear Fest. So I'm not gonna like go through everything. I just want to see on their website what the hottest deals are. If you guys haven't seen this already, I'll share my screen. Let's just do that again so we can share the info and enjoy. All right, so here we go. I'm not participating in this, by the way. I wasn't invited. I feel shunned, I'll be honest. I'm not worried. Let the other guys take care of it. I'm not I'd rather be on this side and critique. So GearFest is a Sweetwater thing. As you can see here, they have it's the 23rd to the 27th, so you guys still have a couple of days to take advantage. I'm gonna click on the little flame here and see what we can see in terms of deals, hottest deals. Let's see if there's anything interesting that we can afford, guys. Hottest deals. All right, so let's jump. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is discounted. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice already. I think I need a sip of water, guys. Maybe some of you have already been through this page. I haven't. So let's take a look. I'm going to concentrate on the guitars and the guitar-related stuff. Let me just do a quick once-over here before I click on something here. Lots of stuff. Okay. Well, not that much stuff, but let's look. All right, let's look at the amps here. Let's go straight to the amp. Here they're advertising Blackstar. And I gotta say, the Blackstar, some of the Blackstar amps like this one, the HT Club, looks a lot like what Mesa put out recently. So let's look at the prices. So here it says you can get some pretty decent discounts. So off the Club 40, you can get what, $400 off? That's a sweet deal. 400 is good. You can get the $300 off the Club 40 Mark II with the 6L6s. The blonde edition is a little bit a better deal. I guess maybe the blondes are not selling as well. That's cool. And then they have the Black Star Studio here, and you can get $200 off of the Black Star Studio. So if you're looking at getting one of these things used, might be worthwhile to grab one new and get the discount. I don't know what the shipping would be. I'm not interested in these Black Star Fly gizmos here, so I'm not really going to pay much attention to that. Let's jump here into the guitar. See what they got here, because there seems to be a couple of deals as well. Not as interesting for the guitars, I gotta say. You're basically getting $100 off. So you can get yourself a Fender Gold Foil Telecaster or a Jazz Bass or a Gold Foil Jazzmaster and save yourself $1,000. But it's still like, you know, $13.99, basically $1,400. For stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little bit, not that interesting for me. Let's look at some pedals, shall we here? What do we got? We got the Walrus Audio 835 Overdrive, $99. So you save $100. That's a good deal. I mean, you're getting it for half price. I don't know much about this pedal, so I don't know how good it actually works. But in terms of price, $100 off, yeah. I'd hit that if it was something I was after. Other than that, in terms of guitars and gear here, not much on the first page. What about strings? Everybody can use some strings. I know I need strings. So what are they offering here? You're getting a $28, almost $30 off the bundles. That's not bad. 12 packs. If you're after getting something consistent, in other words, you don't switch different brands and stuff like that, that's not too bad. For a 12 pack, yeah, that's good. Not too bad. I mean, overall, nothing wow. You have the Diva here, which... the Diva is a $60 savings. I don't know if any of you guys own this pedal or not. So that's not bad, $79. I mean, I would have to look and see and really determine what the cost in terms of shipping and stuff would be as well. And if you're looking for parts, so if you guys are building your own guitars, then you do have some additional savings here. Pretty expensive stuff though. I mean, the control plate is $66 here, even, you know, after the $30 savings. A little expensive in my opinion. Interesting to see that they do have harnesses and different things like switches and what, but you're pretty much paying premium for these, so you're probably better off putting together your own, I think. But it's nice to see that they do have parts as well. All right, that's enough of that. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I do think that overall the Gear Fest is just, you know, a sale, really, as in terms of an event. So we'll see what others say. Keith says, and thank you for the super chat, Keith. Keith says, Sweetwater has been doing 2-day shipping free. I think it's free only in the US, though. I don't think it's free in Canada, unfortunately. So, I got to check that. Keith, by the way, because you did the super chat, you will be getting one of these stickers. You do have to send me your mailing address, okay, Keith? And you can send that to me at the addictedtogearlive.com. It's addictedtogearlive@gmail.com. So let me just put that here. All right, I'll put it in the chat so you guys know how to reach me. addictedtogearlive@gmail.com. That's the email you can send your shipping address to me, and other questions and guitar photos and stuff like that, so I can send out your sticker. All right, Keith, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Those of you who have jumped in late, I mentioned at the top of the show that if you guys do decide to help the channel with a super chat, you automatically get an Addicted to Gear sticker that I'll send out to you guys today. Just today, though. Peg City Pickup says, speaking of amazing gear events, has anyone here heard about the Great Canadian Pedalboard Contest giveaway this July 1st? I heard something about it, but not much. So where can I get information on this? I'd be interested in checking the information out. I think other people, anything free, anything that you can actually get for free, I think people are into. So if you can share information about that, that would be cool. I'm sure it's advertised somewhere. I just don't know where. If you guys are interested in a cool picture I came across, I'm going to share something with you guys now that it's on. Before I forget, give me a second. I'll just find it and pop it up for you guys. I came across this the other day. I thought it was pretty cool. It's here. Let me just share this. If you guys can see that, I hope you can. So this is a picture of our good friend Steve Vai. Check this guitar out, guys. This guitar is like nuts. If you pay attention to the fretboards, so you have the top guitar, which basically has a combination of frets halfway down. Then you have no frets on the balance of the fretboard. You have two pickups. So you have like a Telecaster style pickup, but it's a blade in the neck. You have a humbucker in the bridge, and the bridge looks like it's an acoustic guitar bridge. It maybe even has a piezo pickup in there, which is crazy. Then you have the main guitar in the middle, which is basically a standard, two humbucker configuration with a trem bar and whatnot. Then underneath that you have a bass, and the bass guitar, if you look at the fretboard, it's got frets on half of the fretboard, but only, let's say, the bottom half lengthwise, and the top string is fretless. The top two strings is fretless. Pretty nuts. I don't know. I've seen him actually playing this. Like, he actually does play it. And he does his virtuoso stuff on it. It's pretty nuts. So interesting to see that. Now that's like stretching, out of your comfort zone, I would say. I don't know how much that guitar ended up costing him, but I'm pretty sure you can't buy that off the shelf. And I'm sure he doesn't play it very long. He only probably plays it for a couple of minutes before he actually has to put it down. I can only imagine how heavy it is, unless it's been weight relieved or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah, he has a video of him playing it. Yeah, exactly. Won't fit in a Geo. Yeah, and you probably have to get a pretty expensive custom designed case for it as well. So Peg City has mentioned that there's no purchase necessary to enter the contest. They're giving away a total of $8,000 in handcrafted Canadian pedals plus more. And Peg City is a sponsor for the giveaway. It's absolutely huge. So how do we sign up for this thing? What kind of a link do we have? Do we have a link anywhere that we can share? It would be cool to check that out. I can try to find out. I don't necessarily. If somebody knows where we can get the link, let me know, and we'll share that with everybody here. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys as a WTF exclamation point is the Fender guitar that they came out with recently. Have you guys seen this guitar? Fender's Saint Laurent Strat. It's sort of an uber expensive, I guess, fashionista guitar, if you want to call it that. I don't know if you guys paid attention to this, guys. It is like super expensive. It's $12,500, and basically what it is apparently there's only 10 of these things available. First of all, it's completely black. It looks like a Strat. It has 3 single coil pickups, and it's basically a completely black guitar. So everything from the tuners to the hardware, everything's completely black. It's stealth version, and it says, because it's a Saint Laurent model, which is one of the luxury brands that we have in the world in fashion. So if you want, your guitar to match the label of the clothes that you're wearing, you can you can buy one of these things for only $12,000. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. And the only thing that is indicating Saint Laurent is there's a little Saint Laurent text right under the bridge here. It just says Saint Laurent, nothing fancy. But it's $12,000. Here, I'll even share a picture with you guys. Let's just have a look, shall we? So this is the guitar. This is it. Ebony fretboard, matching headstock, sleek combo. You get a Saint Laurent emblem on your case, and I don't get it. The paint on this guitar, the black paint, must be extremely expensive. It's just one of the things I can't wrap my mind around. Where is the money going other than in the company's pockets? And who would buy this? Don't get it. Sorry, guys. I just don't get it. Dan says they can keep it. Yeah, I would say so. I could build my own stealthy Strat for well under $12,000. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Peg City. Yeah, if you can send me the link, I'll share it out. Yeah, definitely. Just let me know which address you're going to be using for that. But yeah, if I can get it, that would be cool. At least we know now. At least we know that there's this pedal giveaway. We can do our homework on an individual basis if we have to, and try and follow that. Presley says, I'll hire 3 small dudes to play it. Fender, you're killing us. You're killing us. Why are they concentrating on making products that we clearly cannot afford today, instead of concentrating on products that we can afford? It doesn't make any sense. Things are going haywire. Beyond that, there's the Bernie Madison collection going for sale. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but if you're looking for a really nice guitars, vintage guitars, you can definitely pick up a beautiful Bernie Madison Les Paul, which is being put up for sale. I can't guarantee how much, what kind of a discount you're going to be able to get on this thing. But basically, there's a few really nice guitars. This one is the one that's being put up for sale right now. And it's being taken care of by ATB Guitars. So if you're interested in putting a bid, we can take a look at it and see what kind of price point we're looking at here. See if I can find that guitar. Where is it now? A lot of guitars for sale, and not too expensive. Look, they only, some of them are only $13,000 for a Martin. They go all the way up to, let's see, $43,000 for the 1964 Gibson ES345, which looks a lot like my Eastman, by the way, which I didn't pay $43,000 for. The double neck 1966 Gibson SG from the Bernie Madison collection. This is all Bernie stuff, by the way. So he's doing a big liquidation now. 39,000 for this one. Where's the beast? It didn't sell already, I hope. Where I don't see it here. Okay, well, that's weird. Let's go back. Did I miss it? It was there. Let's see if we can. It's just bringing me off. So this is the beast. This is what we're looking at here. It's gonna go over for sure. It's gonna be over $1 million. This thing. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be saving my pennies and jumping on this this deal here. See if I can get a really nice Les Paul. I'm interested to see what the price is going to be on this one. But I don't see it here. Okay, here we have all the Gibsons. All right, so he's got a few. So this one's 523,000, 523,000. This one's 48,000. It's reserved. 77 if you want to have a really nice 1955 gold top. Some really nice SGs here as well. Some of them are not too bad. The custom shop stuff are not too bad. 10 Gs. This one, 2001 R9 is 6,000. He's got a lot of stuff, man. I don't know if I'm boring you with this stuff here, but look at this guy. 1957 Gibson Les Paul Custom, original hard shell case, 139,000. That's a sweet looking guitar, man. This is like what dreams are made out of, you know? If you're a guitar fan like I'm a guitar fan, this is like, it's like guitar porn. Some really nice guitars. Anyways, just wanted to let you guys know that it's there and it's happening in case you're in the market. You know, there's not a lot of things you can invest in these days that holds value. Maybe a Gibson Les Paul is the good choice, the right choice. Presley's holding out for the Bernie Sanders collection. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be as expensive. Oh, man. I think Bernie's getting ready to like check out. I think he's basically lining his bank account for the inevitable. I don't know how old he is right now, but he's definitely not a spring chicken anymore. So Peg City says top prize winner will also receive their choice of pickup set from the Peg City shop. Awesome. That's going to be nice. That's worth the price of admission right there. Peg City pickups. If you guys haven't already checked them out, you should. Shame on you. So that's very cool. Did I get the email? Let me just take a look here and see if I can share that with you guys. Sometimes I don't get the emails right away. Here we go. All right. Yes, I have the link here. So let's share it. Let me just pop it up. Yeah, let me share it with you guys. Give me a sec. You can click. Let's support the Canadians. I think it'll work. I hope the system will allow me to share that link. You might have to copy and paste it, all right, guys? So, I shared the link. So, let me just go to the page. Here it is. So, here you have 5 days, 12 hours, 45 minutes to fill in the information, your name, your number, your email, and you're in. And, yeah, why not? definitely worth the effort. So sign up, guys. Support the giveaway and maybe walk away with some really cool stuff. Sheen Dan says, great guitars if you have space on your walls. Fat Philosopher says, I ignored your question. Sorry, Fat Philosopher. Let me just scroll back. I'm scrolling back and forth, guys, so forgive me if I... Let's see. Fender Custom Shop released 2 all-purple guitars this week, too. Was that wasn't a question, though. That's I didn't see that, by the way. All purple guitars. I think the purple fad thing is kind of dying now. I think Danish Pete, there was a period where everybody wanted to get a purple guitar. I built my own purple guitar and everybody was buying and ordering purple guitars, but I think slowly that's kind of now over with. So I think Fender might be a little bit too late. Let me just scroll down here and see if I can find Fat Philosopher's question. Haven't I don't know where it is. I'm looking here. Can you just copy and paste it again at the Fat Philosopher, please? So I don't have to scroll infinitely. That would be good. Gene says the contest is only in Canada. Okay. Well, it is a Canadian thing, so I would not be surprised, but some of you out there might be Canadian. You can take advantage of that. There's not a lot of, I mean, unfortunately, Canadians don't necessarily have as much to look forward to. A lot of times there are like deals and contests that happen, and I'm always left out for some reason. Even in Canada sometimes. Quebec is often left out because we're bilingual, French, English. So that whole French-English thing means that the contest has to be in both official language, and usually they're not. So then they just say it's easier just to forget about Quebec. It's like, meh, we don't need them anyways. And let them take care of their own contests, so to speak. So I'm not surprised, but if it's open to us in Quebec, I'll definitely sign up for that too. Fat Philosopher, I don't see it, man. If you reposted it, I don't see it. I think it's happening again. It's happened last time too. I don't know why. If you're working off your phone or a tablet or something, I just don't see it. No. If you reposted it, did you repost it just now? If you can just repost it, if you didn't already do it, I'll answer your question. You know, the funny thing is, when I was looking at that Fender Yves Saint Laurent guitar, it made me think, like, who buys this stuff, right? And like, why would you buy this? And it's funny because I was picking up some coffee the other day because, you know, I gotta have coffee. I'm not gonna die without it, but you guys might. So I was about to buy some coffee, and I was going through the different brands of coffee, and I came across this. Let me just show you this picture, guys. It's just crazy what they come up with. This is coffee that they had in the shop. And I'm going to share this with you. Look at this. So I'm holding the bag. It's Lamborghini coffee. So if you're, you know, if you want coffee and you want it to be done super fast, you can definitely go out and buy yourself some expensive Lamborghini coffee. I don't know when the people over at Lamborghini learned how to roast coffee. But I was just happy to see this because it happened around the same time that I saw the Yves Saint Laurent or the Saint Laurent Strat. So I'm like, probably the people that would buy that Strat would probably end up getting this coffee That's what this world is coming to right now. Just one of those things. Hey, good morning, St. Brando. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Presley says, question, have you ever played through a full stack at high volume? Of course, yeah. Yes, I have. And I regularly play through my 4x12. It's not a full stack. It doesn't have the bottom and the top, but it's half a stack. I play through that all the time. I've tried at full volume at home, but even within, I'd say, a couple of, like, 30 seconds of playing, I was getting, like, whistling in my ears. I was getting the tinnitus, typical tinnitus, high-pitched tones. You can't play a full stack in a small room. If you're going through it with a 50 watt amp, it's extremely loud. If you're going through it with a 100 watt amp, you're going to seriously blow out your eardrums. So if you're doing that without any ear protection, not a good idea. Does it come with an Alpine stereo? Maybe. I didn't ask. Keith says I saw it twice. Now, I don't know if we're talking about Fat Philosopher's Comment or what. Or something else. I still don't see Fat Philosopher's Comment here, guys. If you guys can, if you guys see it, maybe you just want to retype it. Help them out. I'm not trying to ignore anyone, Fat Philosopher. I don't know why this keeps happening. The other thing I wanted to share, now that I do have you guys here, and I really like this product. I don't know if you guys are looking for any kind of polish for your guitars, but I tried this polish. It's called B&H Guitar Polish. You can get it online. I don't know, probably not on Amazon, but you could probably get it on some websites. To me, this has probably been the best polish that I've ever tried, and I love this stuff. It's not it's not inexpensive. I think a bottle is almost like 19 bucks or something, but a little goes a long way, and this thing is awesome. So if you haven't tried it and you're looking for something new, try this one out. It's called the B&H Guitar Polish. You can Google it. I'm not affiliated with these guys in any way, but it is definitely something that I am a fan of, so I thought I would share that with you guys. Fat Philosopher says, I posted it 5 times. I gave up. But it doesn't make sense, because, like, you're posting a message right now, and I see your frustrated messages, Fat Philosopher, but I don't see your question. Maybe try not putting. Maybe it's the copy and paste that's not working. I don't get it. I don't understand why I would see your regular comments and not your questions. It's like last time all over again. I don't get it. We're gonna have to call tech support. Yeah, maybe he's violating national security protocols. Maybe security there in Japan is filtering your communication with us up here in the north. Like, we can't have you talking with the Canadians. Bad influences. So should we talk about the, oh, here we go, the Nye. Tony, listed on Calgary, KGG Japanese Tokai Les Paul 1500, gone in a flash. There's one listed locally here also, but he's asking, I think, $2,300 for it. A little expensive. Wouldn't grab it at that price. I'm wondering which model it was, though, at 1,005. Fat Philosopher says, I'll, in it, I say check your Instagram. Perhaps I can't say it? Maybe? Okay, let me check my Instagram then. Did you send me something via Instagram? Was that it? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, I see it. So you sent me a bunch of images of that Telecaster you were after. I see it now. So it had the Bigsby on it. It had, but isn't this? Hold on, no. Sorry. That's an old message. That's an old message. That was the previous one. So you sent me the one here where you're showing me the Epiphone with the Epiphone with the basically the bridge and the mechanism to pull back the strings to the back of the guitar. Was the question regarding that, or was it something else? Since there's a bunch of you here that weren't here this morning, please support the channel. Give us a thumbs up. As I mentioned, any super chat will be getting an Addicted to Gear sticker automatically. I'll send it to you in the mail. You can put it. You can use the email that I posted earlier to send me your contact information if you want to do that and you want to get a sticker, get a little bit of a bonus out of it. And let's see here. So Fat Philosopher's asking me what I think about the tailpiece. Okay. So just to share with you guys, you see this is an Epiphone with a tailpiece that goes all the way back. And so what happens with these tailpieces is you have the three bass side strings that go longer, and then the treble side strings go a little bit less long, but it's sort of like a jazz box style bridge. And some of these were not exactly the same bridges, but some of them were being used on the earlier 3, 4, 5s as well. I haven't actually had extensive trials with a lot of these guitars. I've played a few and they play just fine. Some of them actually, because it is a semi-hollow or a box style guitar, actually adds to the vibration of the guitar when it's done that way. It works. Definitely you don't see that many guitars like that today. But if you buy yourself a vintage guitar, they commonly come with bridges like that. So if you're into the guitar and you're just wondering whether or not that bridge will give you problems, the only problems it could probably bring you is if they break and you want to get a replacement, because it's very difficult to find parts like that today. But other than that, I'm sure it'll play just fine. I don't think the tuning would be necessarily finicky on those. I mean, all it's doing is basically holding the strings. If the bridge is a good bridge and the nut is cut properly, tuning shouldn't be any worse than other guitars, really. It's just a little bit awkward that you see the strings go that far down, I don't know how much of a wrap you're going to get on the bass side strings, considering they're pulled all the way back like that. You might only get a little short wrap as opposed to a full. Sometimes people like to go around 4 or 5 times. Beavis says, is that SG new to your collection? Don't think I've seen you with that one yet. I have shown this guitar on my channel. I did a review on this guitar. I also had it on a couple of live episodes as well, and I mentioned this morning that it is a recent acquisition. I've had it for a bit already. This goes back to the conversation that we were having as to, I never actually owned an SG before. This is the first SG that I've ever owned, and I'm glad I bought it because it's really a lot of fun to play. And I thought, I wouldn't necessarily bond with an SG because for the longest time I was not necessarily a fan of the body shape. But I really, really bonded with the neck on this one. So because it's so easy to play, pretty light, and very comfortable, I bonded with it right away. So I'm happy I bought this guitar. And I don't know if I'd buy another one now that I have this one. I think this one has scratched my itch, considering they're all kind of similar. The only difference that would probably that I could probably take advantage of is maybe a different neck profile, but I really like the thinner necks on these ones. And it's beautiful. I did have the opportunity to review the Epiphone inspired by Gibson SG. And I gotta say, it's a different feel. Not exactly the same. Like, I wouldn't necessarily grab one of those. If you're looking for this type of a feel, you're gonna be disappointed. Not that the inspired by Gibson range is bad. It's not. It's good. But if you're specifically looking for this feel, I wasn't getting it out of the inspired by Epiphone one, unfortunately. So it's too bad because I would have rather spend 800 to 1,000 as opposed to the amount I spent on this one. But I'm happy I got this one. And actually, there was a viewer that sent me a message that I wanted to respond to. And the question was, are all Epiphone SG inspired by Gibsons? In other words, is there such a thing as an Epiphone SG that is not inspired by Gibson? The reason I'm asking is that I have an Epiphone SG at home, but it doesn't have any labeling to say whether it is or isn't inspired by Gibson. So just to clarify that, if you guys don't already know, I think most of you guys probably are aware, but I'll just clarify that in case the person is listening right now. So the inspired by Gibson line is the new versions with the smaller headstock. That is, there's no inspired by Gibson logo or information on the guitar. It basically is the style of the headstock that will tell you that it is inspired by Gibson, because the older Epiphones had a larger headstock, which I felt were ugly. The newer inspired by Gibsons are a little bit closer to the Gibson style, not exactly the same. I still think the Gibson style are the nicest looking ones. But they're closer to this. So if your guitar says Epiphone and has a larger headstock, it's not the inspired by Gibson version. Just to clarify that. Okay. Beavis says, yeah, the Epiphone SG necks are awful. I bought one expecting it to be similar to a Gibson, and the profile was way different. Yeah, it is totally different. And that's the thing. If you're looking, both the inspired by Gibson SG and the inspired by Gibson 335. So I've bought the 335 and did a review on that one, and the SG as well. And they're not anywhere near the feel of the original Gibson 335 that I have, or this one. As a matter of fact, the reason why I like this neck so much is the profile on this one is actually very close to the profile on my Gibson 335, which the inspired by Epiphone version was totally different. Is a lot bulkier, not nearly as slick and easy to play. So these two necks are very similar. And if I play them side by side, there's not a whole lot of difference between them, which I like. And that's the reason why I sold the inspired by Gibson 335. And I don't have the inspired by Gibson SG either. So these are the ones that I prefer. Yeah, that's right, Beavis. It definitely felt like a D shape, yeah, and had bigger shoulders. Eddie says, I never had my hands on an SG, but I live in a cave. Hey, it took me a long time too, Eddie. But definitely check one out. I think you're going to really like it, man. They're great guitars. And Fat Philosopher says Epiphones are having some QC issues too. Electronic problems, could be. I don't know. I didn't have any with mine. I think though a friend of mine bought a 335 inspired by Gibson Epiphone, and he did have some issues, I think, also. Dan says the Gibson and Epiphone SGs only look similar. The Epiphone is very inferior. I have both a 1981 SG and a 2008 model. One has custom 57s and the other has 61s. And DMAC is thinking of putting P90s in an Epiphone standard SG or just getting a casino. Sometimes it's less hassle just to get a casino, man. You don't have to go through the trouble. But Fat Philosopher's bringing up a good point. He says Shane and In the Blues hated the Epiphone Casino. It's funny because a lot of people really like it. I'm surprised. Paul wants to know if I'm still using Peg City pickups. I do have guitars with Peg City pickups in them, yeah. And I'm still playing them. Definitely. Why wouldn't I? They make great sounding pickups, man. Check them out if you're in, especially if you're in Canada. Well, even if you're not in Canada, because if you're in the States, you can take advantage of the exchange. You're going to get really good quality, pretty inexpensive pickups, you know, considering you're going to be paying Canadian dollars for them. All right, let's take a look at the Addicted to Gear poll question. Since we asked the question, let me take a look here if I can just pop it up real quick for you guys. And I think you guys know where it is now. I hope you guys know where it is because some of you have claimed in the past that you were having trouble finding it. So here we go. The question is, in your opinion, what is the hardest instrument to play? And like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of comments where people are talking about other instruments that were not the top 5 that I posted there. I know there's other instruments that are probably way more complicated to play than what we had listed, but I only had 5 places. So the choices were number 1, guitar, 2, piano, 3, saxophone, 4, drums, or 5, bass. So let's go through the answers here. So basically, 31% of you said guitar, in your opinion, was the hardest instrument to play. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, and I'll tell you why in a second. But let's go through the rest of the answers. So 29% of you said saxophone. I've never played a saxophone, so I couldn't tell you how complicated it is, but I could imagine it probably would be. I've tried playing a clarinet. It sounded terrible, so I could only imagine how difficult a saxophone might be. Piano, 24%. Drums, 16%. And bass, 0%. I'm surprised. First of all, I got to say, I think if you strive to play any of these instruments extremely well, they're all difficult. But in my opinion, I would say piano would probably be more difficult than guitar. Not because, and I gotta qualify that, because yes, the guitar, fretboard is more complicated because strings are side by side, and obviously some strings are not tuned the same way, and you have to compensate, and it's a little bit more abstract in your mind as opposed to a piano. Piano, you have the keys laid out, and it's very, very repetitive. So, you can definitely, once you know where the chords are, you can kind of figure it out. Same thing with the scales and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, when you're reading piano music, you're splitting your brain in two, really, because your left hand is doing the bass line, your right hand is doing the treble, and you're sometimes mixing them up together. And also you're using your feet, to sustain notes and dampen notes and everything like that as well. I've tried piano. Certain things make it seem easier, like if you're trying to figure out what you're playing in terms of chords, seems to be easier. But splitting your brain in two when you're trying to read sheet music, forget it. It's like not an easy thing for me. I had a feeling everybody was going to have their own opinion. Steven says, just noticed that my chat was set to top chat. Could be why we didn't see Fat's comments earlier. Just change it to live chat to see everything. Not sure why it was set to top chat. Okay. And Fat Philosopher says, Shane said the casino had too much feedback to play live. That's a common concern with any semi-acoustic guitar, especially if you're using, if you're playing loud venues, small rooms with a lot of drive, you can definitely get more feedback issues with a semi-hollow. I'm not sure if it was worse. I know Shane used to own a 335, so he's probably familiar with both. And if he says the casino had more feedback, then he probably means more feedback than what would be normal even in a 335. Joe's here. He says, hello, looks like I'm Johnny come lately today. That's okay, Joe. You're here now. That's what counts. Vladimir says clarinet is complicated. It's hard to play. I know everybody's going to actually come in with some other instrument like the glockenspiel. Dan says the glockenspiel. Alex says saxophone. Alex says the hurdy-gurdy. French horn, says Fat Philosopher. I knew everybody was going to come up with other things, but we wanted it to limit it to these 5. I know there's much more difficult instruments to play. Cowbell. Tambourine can be challenging for some of us as well. So, Cushman says, I play lead tambourine. Paul says, Tony, the Peg City Firebird pickups at $140 Canadian or $110 USD are the cheapest on the entire planet. So I've been talking about this. I've been mentioning how, you know, they make awesome pickups for a very good price. You guys don't believe me? Check them out. It's definitely worthwhile. All right, guys, we're gonna start wrapping it up unless there's some other questions, you know, that you want to ask specifically to myself or the people that are here today, and get some feedback on. And otherwise, we'll let you go and enjoy the weekend and enjoy your Sunday and maybe get some practice time in. I've been a good boy this week. I have actually practiced. Last week, I was scrambling to practice before rehearsal. This week, I actually did practice, so I'm more relaxed. I will be prepared for this evening with the Gibson Les Paul. Looking forward to it. I hope you guys have something lined up in terms of live event or playing or rehearsing or something with your guitars, because, you know, it's kind of boring to play your guitar all by yourself in your room or your basement if you're not practicing for something else. All right, guys. So I think we'll wrap it up for today. We've been on for what, an hour and almost an hour and a half. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We're going to have another show happening next Sunday. There will be a period during July where we probably will not be able to do a live show because I might be out of town. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. If you don't see the posting for it on YouTube, that means it's not going to happen. But we're going to have a live show till then. And if you guys have any questions or comments after the show, you can always reach me on my Gmail, the email I shared above, and post your questions there. And we'll be back. We'll be back for more. And we'll be, I know we're going to have some new gear to talk about. I know we're going to have some interesting things lined up for the next show. So please mark it on your calendar. It's always Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So set your alarm. I know it's not always easy to get up early on Sunday, but I appreciate the fact that you guys make the effort to join in. So that's it. Please take the opportunity to tickle the thumbs up button before you go, so we can squeeze a few more thumbs up. And looking forward to talking to you guys next week. So stay well, be safe, keep playing, protect your hearing, and don't spend too much money. But if you spot something good, grab it, and we'll be talking to you again. Take care, everybody. See you soon.